Welcome back, everyone, to another Wandavision breakdown. Now, this episode was exciting. Big things happened, and we got a lot of reveals in this episode. So let's get into it. Spoiler alert before I say anything, because obviously, like I said last video, who clicks on who watches like the first two episodes of WandaVision, and then they basically watch a episode 5 breakdown. Anyway, whatever. So spoiler alert, and then recap obviously. So then we got this like 80s sitcom for this episode. As you can see, Wanda's hair has changed. And also, one detail is that Wanda seems way more exhausted than Vision is when they're taking care of their babies. Now, this is relatable because you see, have you ever been sitting in like a car or something and there's always a baby there and they just keep crying and crying? It's ridiculous. And also, she seems way more exhausted than Vision is. And I think the reason why is because Vision has only had to take care of one of the twins, or maybe both of them. I don't know. But Wanda has been doing the entire Westview because she's wanting control. So pretty much, I bet that's probably why she seems more exhausted. So she tries to use her powers to get them to shush or shut up, basically in this case. But the babies actually spit out the pacifier, as you can see right here in the screenshot. Then she basically asks Agnes to help. Well, it's actually weird because Agnes just ding dongs the door, and then she pretty much just walks in. Now Vision doesn't really want her touching. She doesn't really want her touching his kids, which I don't know why, but yeah. And then also Agnes seems to know more about this reality than all the other characters do. Like for example, she doesn't seem to be in that weird trance that all the other characters in, which I will get to later on in the recap. But yeah, so because later on she asks Wanda if like can you like rewind that again or something like that, which was weird because nobody has known how to do that other than Wanda herself. So that's weird. And anyway, so she also helps with them with not really actually. Also the twins are able to age themselves up and they later find a dog outside so they try to keep it and they don't want Wanda to know because they want because what they're trying to do is they're trying to create like an alibi saying that oh we just need to keep the dog, you know. But then of course Wanda walks in before they can create their alibi and then everything gets suspicious. Oh, I mean kind of funny but still. Anyway, so she figures out that what they were doing and she's like oh yeah, taking a dog is a big responsibility, and then you say you have to be at least 10 years old. So then after that the twins are like okay, we'll just be 10 years old then, and then they pretty much age themselves up again. So it's weird. Then over with Sword, Monica had woken up from her, I guess, knockout or something. I don't know. Anyway, so then she meets up with Darcy, who's apparently a big fan of Monica. Anyway, also, by the way, I want to point out this detail. Agnes, so you see how all the other characters are right here? Also, notice how Norm right here is listed as Abilash Tandon, and how well actually I can't read this from the screenshot. It's just from the episode. Like if you watch episode 4, then you know that the actor or the guy who's being manipulated in this case is Abilash Tandon. So then also Agnes doesn't have one of these. So that's really weird. So yeah. So anyway, she meets up with Jimmy Woo, and then at the briefing, Monica is taking note of Tyler Hayward's verbal jabs at Wanda, and Jimmy Woo has been doing the same, while while Hayward is saying stuff like Hayward is saying stuff like she's basically at first we actually thought that she was a victim of this whole Westview anomaly, but now we know that she is the prime victimizer, which basically means she's the one who's doing all the damage and trouble, and yeah, pretty much. Now Jimmy was trying to like make things a little easier by he also says Wanda's backstory, which I'll repeat right now. I'm not gonna actually play the clip, but still. So he says that she was born in 1989 to which is actually the exact same years that this sitcom is taking place in for this episode. So she said she was born in 1989 to Irina and Oleg Maximoff. I think that's their names. And then he also says how their parents died due to a bomb, which actually we already knew that from Age of Ultron. But anyway, then Wu also says how, and then also like literally Hayward just pretty much calls out Wanda again. Now Monica's trying to like defend her and be more sympathetic to her. Now I think the reason why is because Wanda had kind of lost all her people, and she kind of had no family, kind of like what Agnes said in that last episode. Uh, yeah, because she didn't really had a family by the time. by the time that by the time of Westview, or about like yeah during WandaVision, because remember she had lost her brother in Age of Ultron. Her parents were killed before that. Then and then the only person she was really living with was Vision, and that's pretty much when they fell in love. But then after that, Vision just got killed by Thanos. Well, actually, the Mind Stone just got yeeted from his forehead. But anyway, yeah. So Monica's a little bit more sympathetic to her, which I think the reason why is because Maria had died during the blip, which is probably, and it was probably very like it was probably very she was probably very like sad about it, because and probably very in grief, because remember, if you saw the episode 4 flashback, you could tell how shocked she is, like to figure out that Maria died 3 years ago, and the fact that she wasn't even there when to even say goodbye to her mother. So I think she is a little bit more sympathetic to her, but yeah. So and then they also get security footage of Wanda breaking into Sword's headquarters and stealing Vision's corpse. Now, if you remember, Vision was last seen during Wakanda, so that means Sword must have probably picked up his corpse. Uh, Sword probably must have like picked up Vision's body, like in Wakanda sometime after the blip. What I'm confused about is how did they were able to get in, and how did they have good ties with Wakanda? So I mean, Sword must have some sort of weird Sword must have like either like a stable or at least a good relationship with Wakanda, or else Wakanda probably would not have let them touch that, because you have to remember Vision is vibranium. He is like some part of it is vibranium. So yeah. So Wanda pretty much stormed in, took Vision's body, and she pretty much left. And she basically reanimated him or resurrected him. So also, Monica tests her suit, and well, this isn't really a suit, but this is just like the outfit that she was wearing, and they figure out that Wanda's basically rewriting stuff, because remember when because Monica was wearing like a Kevlar suit, which I'll get to. It is an Easter egg to something from the Captain America movies, but yeah. So she does uh she does figure out that because you see when she actually shoots the gun bullets, they basically ricochet off the suit, which is probably why she survived her like ejection sequence when Wanda literally like yeeted her out of Westview. But yeah, so and they figure out that Wanda's basically rewriting it, so it depends on the design. So if something is like an 80s style, then pretty much it's not gonna be like it's basically not gonna be changed. But if it's like something from present day, it's probably gonna be changed to match the look of Westview, since it's like basically a sitcom. But yeah, so, and then there's also an email where Vision's at work and he sees a sword. Now, this is from Darcy Lewis, as you can see from here, and this says findings regarding the Maximoff anomaly. But yeah, so and then Vision's really shocked by this, uh, and he basically turns off the computer. Now, I want to note that this is the same way he turns off the computer when he does this to Agnes in the trailer, which I made a breakdown on that. Click the card at the top if you want to see that, or I'll link it at the end. Anyway, so then he basically does the exact same thing to Norm. Then pretty much Norm gets freaked out and he's like, "Oh my God, you gotta help me! You gotta stop her! She's in my head." Now, a lot of people think this is Agnes, but if you see the Canadian Lad, by the way, channel, you should probably check out. He thinks that it's actually Agnes, which I'm not sure, but could be possible because he did say she is in my head. Help me, make her stop or whatever. And he basically also says that and he also says that that his father is sick, and that his sister is taking care of him. So I don't know. We might get more insight on that. Anyway, and then basically he's so out of control that Vision has to like turn him back to normal. Now over with them, Sparky had escaped, which is their dog's name, but unfortunately, Agnes has found his dead body. Now for some reason, I don't know why, but when I watched this scene, I never believed Agnes's claim that Sparky was dead, because well, I mean to be fair though, the plants that she is growing are actually like real poison. Like if a dog eats that though, they will die. So it isn't like fake. But I do feel like though that she is lying, but I'm not sure though. Anyway, the twins are very sad, and they also want Wanda to bring her back, and they also want Wanda to bring it back because apparently the twins basically know Tommy and Billy know that Wanda can like bring people back, so they're like, "Mommy, can you bring it back?" And then they're like, and then Wanda's like, "What?" And then after Agnes is also playing dumb, like you don't know how to do that. And the reason why I say she's playing dumb is because she probably knows that she can do that. So whatever. Anyway, then Vision shows up also, but yeah. And then also Soren sends in an 80s style drone, and so they send in an 80s style drone, so that way like all the drones will not get like smashed every time they basically send it through the barrier. And Monica is the one behind the controller in this case. Also, uh you can see Billy, Tommy, and Wanda there in the background. I just realized. Anyway, and then she tries to communicate to Wanda, but Wanda gets all red eye and Scarlet Witch. And by the way, every time Wanda wants to like hurt someone, she always tilts her head in a weird angle, so you can tell that she is mad. So anyway, Hayward is like, take the shot, and then Monica's like, what? And then basically the controller just goes static and it turns off, and then Monica freaks out and she basically does a Thor to Thanos, what did you do? And then eventually there's a breach because apparently Wanda had left Westview and she's literally in her Avengers Infinity War outfit, and she's in her Sokovian accent again, and she grabs the drone and she throws it to them, to the Sword Agents, and then all of them are pointing their guns at her, and like everybody's here. You have Monica, Hayward, Darcy, Jimmy Woo, and Wanda. Well, the only people are not here are the people inside of Westview. So anyway, there is a heated conversation. Well, it's not that heated, or else like it would have broken out into some sort of fight. But anyway, so Hayward is saying how you basically taken an entire city hostage. Wanda is saying how I am not the one with the guns director, and then Monica's like, but you are the one in control. And then after that, Wanda's like, oh, you're still here, and then she's about to use her powers again, basically about to do the yeet her out again, but whatever. And then basically she says, I have what I want. Leave me alone. Stay away from my home. And then after that, Hayward's like, I wish so, but you take an entire city hostage, and I just mentioned that. So, yeah, Monica tries to sympathize with Wanda, but Wanda's like, what could you possibly offer me? And then she's like, we just want to help you. But then after that, Monica's like, I didn't know that the drones were armed because Hayward had actually made the drones armed. So basically, Hayward is kind of seen as the villain in this series, kind of like Wanda. But yeah, but Wanda's like, I already have what I want, so leave me alone. And then she pretty much leaves. And before she does that, she pretty much makes all of the sword agents turn on Hayward, but they don't actually shoot their gun. They basically just aim at him, which basically freaks Hayward out. I mean, imagine if this happened to you, I would freak out too. So of course he freaks out. I mean, understandably. So then we also get an ad for something called Lagos paper towels, which I'll get to later on. Then there is a very heated conversation between Vision and Wanda. So yeah, we get that. And then Quicksilver shows up at the door, but it's not actually the Quicksilver from Age of Ultron. It's actually the Quicksilver from the X-Men films. So that means there is a crossover. So yeah, remember I did say in one of the videos that mutants would come into the MCU. Click the card, or I'll link it at the end. So yeah, pretty much now we have mutants in the MCU because now we have the Evan Peters version of Quicksilver, not the Aaron Taylor Johnson. We don't have that one. So Quicksilver's back. And also in this episode, Wanda did mention Quicksilver, and she basically told her twins that he's very, very far away, which basically means that he's dead, basically. But yeah. So now on to Easter eggs. Yeah, there are a lot. That's why I have all these pictures right here. So by the way, let's start with the 80s style drone because this one I didn't mention at all. So this one actually says Westview, which is just a detail that you can notice. That basically Monica pulls a Thor on Thanos. What did you do? Pretty much right here. Then this one is pretty self-explanatory for why you do that. And by the way, the one I said about this one is that she said that it's 80%. Monica says that this outfit is 87% Kevlar, which I'm pretty sure is the same outfit as Captain America's costume. Because I remember there was always a debate a couple years ago, like if you shot Captain America like with a gun, would he die? And the answer is like if you shot him like without his cap suit, then Yeah, but if you shot him with like his cap suit on, then like a gun bullet would not. Because, and by the way, this outfit that the outfit, the Kevlar outfit is supposed to be from Captain America: The Winter Soldier. But yeah, so and then there's also a sword email, which I think I mentioned. Dr. Darcy Lewis fighting regarding on the Maximoff anomaly, which Vision calls later in their heated conversation. But yeah. So, and then also Vision, Wanda goes red eyes, which obviously you know that when every time she's red eyes, you know like something big's about to happen. Now, the last time she basically did this was to Thanos when during the final battle of Endgame, which actually does not take place that far back now, because remember, WandaVision takes place 3 weeks after Endgame, so this happened like right after she did this to Thanos. But yeah, so also, in this scene where in this heated conversation, Wanda is wearing her Avengers Endgame and slash Infinity War outfit because if you remember, her hair is a little bit more brighter than her Civil War outfit, and also she's not in her like 80s style sitcom outfit, but whatever. Also, these twins are able to age themselves up, which basically proves that Wanda does not have control over every single person in this reality. Like there are a few people that she can't control, and notably, I think that all these people are supposed to be Billy and Tommy, well, Vision, and pretty much Agnes as well. Because yeah, and then also the Lagos brand, which I said I would get to, is remember, Lagos is the city in Nigeria that basically opened up the film Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and this is basically when Wanda messed up and she basically killed like 6 Wakandans or like a lot of people in a building, and she basically caused a giant explosion, which basically led to the Civil War and the Sokovia Accords. And also, I want to point out there's one line that it says there, and the person in the ad says when you basically made a mess that you didn't mean to, which pretty much means that Wanda made a mess that she didn't mean to. So yeah. Also, the color of this juice here is like the exact same color as Wanda's powers, like also the red eyes. But yeah, so I think I went over all the Easter eggs here, except for this one. So I think that in this scene, well, for these two, so this is the Evan Peters version of Quicksilver. Now, if you only watch the MCU films and not the Fox like X-Men films, there this is supposed to be Evan Peters Quicksilver, not the Aaron Taylor Johnson Quicksilver, like the one from Age of Ultron, because in 2015 there were two versions of Quicksilver. One of them was in Avengers: Age of Ultron. The other one was in X-Men: Days of Future Past. So pretty much, but yeah. But also, the I want to point out that the Quicksilver in this scene does not act like the regular the Quicksilver from the X-Men movies or the Age of Ultron movies. Like he basically just acts like some random character almost. It almost seems like he isn't even at like Quicksilver. I bet what's probably happening is whoever's like manipulating Wanda to do this, like whoever, maybe it's Agnes or something. Basically, somebody's trying to make Wanda happy, but in reality, they're probably trying to do something way worse. And what they're basically doing that, because remember how Vision is kind of like arguing with her and stuff like that. Like maybe somebody else is trying to make her happy, because apparently since Vision cannot make Wanda happy anymore since they're always arguing, and then it got to be Quicksilver, her brother, that has to do that. By the way, there was an actual audition scene that was leaked that actually showed that basically there were people auditioning for Wanda's twins, and in the scene, one of them was basically saying, do not wake up our uncle, quote uncle, in the next room," which was basically a nod to Quicksilver, which everybody thought that he was going to be in the series, but you did not see that coming. Anyway, uh, I still think that Agnes killed the dog, and I think the reason why was that because I don't know, because you see, Wanda has already used her powers, but she only uses it in front of certain people like Vision and Agnes. So obviously, maybe she wants him to bring her back. Like maybe the plan was to basically like steal like Wanda's powers or something, or to like take them away or something like that. Basically pulling like a moral from Ninjago move or whatever. But yeah, so because So maybe like the plan was like Wanda would try to bring him the dog back to life, but then after Agnes would be like psych, and then she would have like I don't know, take her powers or something, or steal them, or maybe like I don't know, confine them. I don't know. Anyway, so those were all the Easter eggs and recaps and recap that I did in WandaVision episode 5. This episode was amazing, truly. Uh, there is the video on episode what on episode 5, and there is a video on the sword mutants and hints that you probably missed in the trailers. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next